Top story, fairly dramatic developments in Bengal today. Mamata Banerjee stood up by protesting junior doctors who were invited to the state secretariat for a meeting, apologized, said she wasn't enamored of the top post and that she was ready to step down. Listen in to what she said.
আমাদের সরকারকে মামাটি মানুষের সরকারকে অনেক অসম্মান করা হয়েছে, অনেক অপমান করা হয়েছে, সোশ্যাল নেটওয়ার্কে অনেক ভুল বোঝাবুঝি হয়েছে, অনেক কুৎসা অপপ্রচার হয়েছে, যারা সাধারণ মানুষ জানতেন না যে এর মধ্যে একটা কালার আছে। মানুষ এসেছিলেন বিচার চাইতে তিলোত্তমার, কিন্তু আশা করি মানুষ বুঝতে পারছেন ওরা বিচার চায় না, ওরা চায় চেয়ার। আমি মানুষের স্বার্থে এমনকি নিজে পদত্যাগ করতেও রাজি আছি। আমার মুখ্যমন্ত্রীর পদ চাই না, কিন্তু আমি চাই মানুষ বিচার পাক, তিলোত্তমা বিচার পাক, আর সাধারণ মানুষ চিকিৎসা পাক।
Mamata Banerjee, and it came right at the end of her press conference today after the protesting junior doctors refused to meet with her, insisting on a live streaming of the meeting. Mamata Banerjee reasoned that this was a very sensitive case. It was being heard by the Supreme Court. The CBI is investigating it. And at this point, live streaming, if any comments were made that affects the case that were, that is not in the sense, appropriate given the circumstances, then her government, her officers would be responsible. She agreed to the number of representatives the doctors wanted. The government agreed to recording the entire meeting, sharing a copy of the recording with the protesters, the doctors, and also sharing a copy of the same with the Supreme Court if necessary. But the doctors did not come for the meeting. 2.5 hours the Chief Minister waited. She said, I've been waiting yesterday, day before yesterday, and today, every day for over 2 hours to meet with them, but that has not happened. So this is something that the Chief Minister said, and then of course she highlighted patients were dying, patients were not getting treatment. Then of course she went on to make that big statement at the end of the press conference where she said, if it is in public interest, I am willing to resign. I do not want the Chief Minister's post. But she added that all of this, the people have been coming out to protest because they want justice. But there is political color here. There is color here. She said they don't want justice, they want the chair. And in that context, she made her comments. This is, of course, a very big statement from a leader like Mamata Banerjee, of course, who's known to be, very aggressive and, very firm. But obviously, she says she respects public sentiment, and she says there is sentiment attached to this case. And she also, asked for forgiveness of the people with folded hands in that press conference, in that soundbite, and also said that she was willing to resign if it was in public interest. Now, of course, this is something that means that the stalemate is likely to continue. The junior doctors who've been protesting have defied the Supreme Court orders. They've not come back to work. The Supreme Court had set a deadline of 5 p.m. on Tuesday that they did not return to work. The government has tried to meet them for 3 consecutive days, and every time they put forward conditions, the government has agreed to some of those conditions. But today, of course, they did not come for the meeting or did not enter the meeting venue after coming all the way to the state secretariat, insisting on a live streaming. That's, of course, where it stands now. And this, of course, we'll see how this proceeds further. Remember, next Tuesday, the Supreme Court hears the case again.
All right, well, joining us now, Dola Sen, member of the Rajya Sabha in the Trinamool Congress. I'm also joined by Dr. Shotrupa of the BJP, Mamata Banerjee, the senior journalist, Dr. NVK Mohan, who's a protester, also a senior doctor in Kolkata, Dr. Kanchan Mukherjee, Vice President of the West Bengal Doctors Forum. Thank you all very much for being with us. Ms. Sen, let me come to you first. When Mamata Banerjee says that she's willing to step down, she's not interested in this post, was that a political statement, or does she really mean that, in a situation like this, she's willing to step down?
That Mamata Banerjee is a true mass leader. She believes in mass sentiment. She understands mass pulse much more than others. So I think today to make understand the junior doctor, to make them understand. Our Honorable Chief Minister has made that statement so that junior doctor and the junior doctor, those who are fighting against the administration, they can understand her feeling and they can join the dialogue and they can join their duties again.
Right. So she's not really stepping down, is she?
I don't think she is stepping down now, but this is for God's sake that she can step down any time, anywhere. She already. We have experienced many times this type of thing when she was cabinet ministers in union government. Several times we have seen. So she can step down. She doesn't
So would
have
you as a
any
Trinamool MP...
further compulsion for the chair.
Understood. But ma'am, would you as a senior leader in the party, other leaders like you, allow her to step down?
I don't think it is the time to step down by her because only 2 months back, the common people of Bengal, under central forces, under the jurisdiction of court and election commission, more than 45% of the population of Bengal, nearly 46% of the population of the Bengal have voted for Mamata Banerjee, and only 2 months back she has achieved
All right. So at this stage, no
exceptional
question
victory.
of her going. I hear you loud and clear. Dr. Shotrupa, is that, how would you look at that? Because when a chief minister, that also a strong one, like Mamata Banerjee says that she is willing to go, it appears to be just an emotional statement and nothing more than that, right?
Vishnu, as usual, she's playing to the gallery. Doladi is absolutely right. Our Honorable Chief Minister knows exactly the pulse of the people, as always. So she has again, played the victim card, and she said that yes, I want to resign. Well, she should, because just like Doladi said, a percentage of course, a larger percentage of the people of West Bengal, under whatever circumstances, have voted her in 2024 Lok Sabha MPs, yes, and 2021 in Vidhan Sabha. The same people, almost 2 crore 30 lakh people have voted us to opposition, BJP, and we wanted her resignation from ever since this has happened. So she should listen to the same people who have given the mandate to make us the opposition. We're not saying we want the power, mind you, but she should resign. 13 years, she has created havoc in the health system, in the police system, and as Chief Minister of West Bengal, we all know across India the message is very clear. The dire straits that West Bengal is in. Just before you go into somebody else, I just want to add, I want to make 2 quotes. Today, the junior doctors were sitting outside Navanno, and the larger group was sitting outside the health department, and they kept saying, live streaming e kisher bhoy. Vishnu, you understand Bengali. Live streaming e kisher bhoy, dharshok tomar ke hoy. It is very clear that Mamata Banerjee did not want a live streaming because she was going to, face some pretty embarrassing questions from these doctors. And let me tell you, Vishnu, I think everybody has seen the complete restraint. I think I told you this day before yesterday when I was in a show. The restraint, the sensitivity. People across West Bengal have come and given them food.
Okay,
When
Dr.
that food
Shotrupa,
went
hold on.
into-
You've made lots of points. Doladi has to respond, but a short one before I get into the meat of the debate. Doladi, go ahead.
2-3 things I want to tell regarding the BJP spokesperson reaction. One, I think you all will agree that rape is a social evil. What is going on in our country, in our universe, and it's condemnable. We are shameful that at the 21st century we have to face rape till death, but there is a statistics of 86 to 91 rapes per day. now in India, if only for this rape and murder, Mamata Banerjee has to resign, then every chief minister, every prime minister has to resign every moment. What will be the solution now? Second, the BJP spokesperson was telling that people are in the streets. I am also a social activist. I also went last 1 month to and fro of our state, West Bengal. The people, the rural people, the people in subdivisions, the people who has given Mamata Banerjee again a very big mandate, they all are annoyed that the students, the junior doctors, with due respect, they are valid with their demands, but they are not considering their oaths, what
Okay.
they have taken to serve people.
All right,
They are
ma'am,
not
on that
giving
note,
service to
Doladi,
the
that's a good
patients.
note, good point for me to actually move on with the doctors as well. Dr. Kanchan Mukherjee, you know, I mean, she was sitting over there in a hall waiting for all of you to come. She said that she's willing to quit. She doesn't care about the post. She respects your sentiments and she's asked for forgiveness. Why aren't you talking?
Well, it's not for me to answer this question directly because I'm not a junior doctor and it's a movement of the junior doctors.
Do you believe that junior doctors or as senior doctors, you should persuade the junior doctors to end their strike, their protest?
Solidarity. We are in complete solidarity with their demands, and they have actually shown more openness than anybody else. They have written time and again, and they have been replied in disguise of threat that they will be facing punitive action. And actually, they went all the way from their agitation point at the Health Secretariat to the State Secretariat, and they were actually kept holding without agreeing to their little demand of televising the entire episode.
So that's what it boils down to, televising, right? Everything has been agreed else. Everything else has been agreed upon. It's just televising this, right? That's what the stumbling block is.
There are only two demands. There were only two demands. One was met that they actually had agreed to the number of representatives which they agreed to, but they did not agree to televise. Now, what is the problem? I don't understand. Why are they making such a big issue of televising the entire episode?
But why are doctors making such a big issue of televising the entire episode? Ultimately, it's not televising the episode which is going to be a solution to the problem. The solution lies in greater security for doctors, a revamp of security in hospitals, perhaps action against those who are responsible, a proper judicial probe. All of that is taking place. Why are you so intent on televising it?
Absolutely, it is absolutely essential to maintain transparency. Time and again today we have heard about having open mind. Now, if anybody has open mind, it is the Honorable Supreme Court who can hear the case directly.
The Supreme Court has asked you to go back to work. Supreme Court has asked junior doctors to go back to work.
Supreme Court said the state is free to take action.
And the court, and sir, today the Chief Minister said that ESMA, the Essential Services Maintenance Act, is available to us, but we will not use it.
Well, that is between the two aggrieved parties, whether junior doctors want to go back and start their work.
I understand it's between the junior doctors, but as a senior doctor who 100% backs the junior doctors, do you not believe that at this stage, when there is a legal process which is taking place, when action is finally happening, when everyone is in acceptance of the horror of what has taken place, 26 now, I believe, people at least have lost their lives, right? Why do you not want to go back? Why do these young doctors not want to go back?
Why do you get that data of 26 people dying? Why
I got it on my show yesterday from a Trinamool MP on my show.
It is what they have claimed, but where is the data in the preceding months? Where is the data from
So that data of 23, which yesterday was mentioned as 26.
Now, let me tell you.
I went to the Supreme Court as well.
At the place of
it's a legal statement.
Beg your pardon?
The number of 23, which went up to 26 yesterday, as stated by a Trinamool MP on my show last night, keep that aside. It was 23, which is a legal statement, a position placed by the state government in the Supreme Court of India. If they are lying, they are in deep trouble.
Well, I cannot talk about that, but it is their issue. Even if I give you one instance where a very senior leader of the ruling party blamed Arjikor authorities for a patient's death due to negligence, in response to that event, even the MSVP of that hospital went on record saying that he has checked the bedhead ticket and every possible things were done.
Right.
Now, death was unfortunate. It was a case of polytrauma. This patient was not salvageable. If the medical superintendent, vice president of the hospital can make that statement on camera, how can I say that a ruling party representative or the media is telling us the truth? I think what is being represented is maybe half truth, but we need to know the entire truth, and that is why we should have done this meeting directly under camera. Time and again, we have faced this situation where one thing gets discussed and that does not get translated into action, that does not get translated into black and
Dr.
white.
Mukherjee, hold on. Let me bring in Monadipa Banerjee at this stage. Monadipa, has healthcare in Kolkata at least, or in other parts of the state, been suffering?
I'm sorry, did you say that are they affected?
Has it been suffering either through anecdotal reports or reports as a journalist which are more confirmed? Can you tell us whether or not there has been a serious impact with these doctors, the junior doctors not going back to hospital?
Well, again, this is just second-hand information coming in from various sources. I haven't been to a district hospital to see for myself, but there are 26 government medical colleges in this state where there are junior doctors, and 7,500 junior doctors in all these medical colleges are the ones who have ceased work. And therefore, certainly there is an impact. The junior doctors say that the total number of doctors in West Bengal is 93,000. And junior doctors number 7,500 out of them. So they are a minute number, and their cease work, they claim, is not affecting anybody anywhere. Senior doctors, faculty members, they are all working at the emergencies, in the OPDs, they are out there attending to patients. There is an element of truth in that. What makes me wonder what the true picture is that, the West Bengal Health Secretary the other day presented this figure that you mentioned, 23 dead in the period of cease work in West Bengal across the state. Now, he also mentioned over there, according to media reports, 23 people have died. So I don't know what the truth is. There were no details shared. We have details of some of the people who have died, who have been brought to hospital and died, but doctors, as you heard, are saying that sadly fatalities take place in hospitals. The other argument that one of the striking doctors has put forward is a series of data for deaths in the same period in the last 3-4 years. Now, in the COVID years, they are very, very high.
Yeah.
But last year was much more than in the period of strike today, this year. So these are, issues that are being manipulated. And Mamata Banerjee's statements today were very interesting. She is a master politician. She played, good cop and bad cop, seeking forgiveness of the people, and yet at the same time refusing to allow live transmission. I think one of the key questions we need to figure out over here, and I haven't been able to get to the bottom of it, is would it have been contempt of Supreme Court if indeed this whole meeting today was televised as demanded by the doctors? There is a precedent, and that's why I think the doctors really
why would it be
stuck to their
contempt,
guns on
Monadipa?
this. 2019,
Why would it be contempt? Did the Supreme Court say that it cannot be televised?
But then why didn't the Chief Minister televise it? Why did she, create this situation where she said, no, because this matter is with Supreme Court, because this matter is with the CBI, we can't do it. That ultimately became the sticking point. I think the junior doctors are also reaching the end of their tether. They also want to get back to work and normalcy. But what's keeping them is that many of their key demands have not been met. Simple. Safety and security in hospitals. Where are the CCTVs? Where are the washrooms? Have they been made? Has there been a budget allocation for it? We don't know about that. And finally, where is the justice for Abhaya, the girl? Okay, the matter is with the CBI. That's one. And then finally, there have also been additional demands. Given the corruption in the health system that is being slowly exposed, the doctors want several officials in the health department to go. That has not happened. And they also wanted the resignation of the police chief.
And the health secretary.
That has not happened either. So the doctors say none of our demands have been met. I understand Mamata Banerjee is the administrator of the state and must do what is best for the greatest numbers. And certainly, even a single death is one too many in my book,
Yeah.
and definitely in the chief
No,
minister's.
Bonitiba, you summarize this entire situation. It is very tricky. Dr. NVK Mohan, in your mind, what is the way out? I slightly disagree with Monideepa on this one point. I do believe that transparency can perhaps take place even if there is no televised, recording or play out or live play out. It's not as if the doctors are going to go in over there without cell phones. It's not as if they're not going to be recording what is taking place. It's not as if they'll be told you cannot stream the proceedings of what is taking place. So it's not as if the 30 or 26 odd doctors will not be able to report what they saw. So, the entire issue of televising it, to me, it appears to be something which can be resolved. That's my opinion, Dr. Mohan.
Yes, Vishnu, good evening. Thanks for having me on the show. So far as the matter of, why these children are sticking on the point of, televised, live telecast of the meeting. So let me tell you a few things. I've gone there. Kanchan has been there as well. We have met these children. These are ordinary children, meritorious children from ordinary families. They are not politicians. They are, they are the creme de la creme of society. And they have been running a very, very, should I say, a very, decent and, dignified movement, which is totally apolitical. They have shooed away every person who might remotely, carry any political flavor. So these children, and it's what started off as a media protest from junior doctors, it is now a mass movement. If you've been seeing the videos, and I've been there, I can tell you there was such a surplus of food. Tea stall owners, tea sellers, they're coming and donating their day's earning. They are doing whatever little they can. Yesterday we saw a 70-year-old gentleman, fanning them so that they don't feel hot. These children were saying, "Dadu, apni korben na, grandfather, please don't do it. We will do it ourselves." I said, "No, this is the least that I can do for you." So these children are carrying the expectations and the of the whole masses behind them.
Okay,
so
Doctor, you make an important point. 1 second, sir.
Chief Minister.
Let me put that to Monideepa, who's been independently watching this. Monideepa, is this in Bengal at this stage more than a BJP versus Trinamool protest? Is it more about a mass movement going beyond the doctors and this immediate incident?
What is happening basically is there's a complete deficit of trust that has crept into the situation, certainly between a large portion of the medical fraternity and the ruling party. Along with the medical fraternity, there are ordinary people who are on the streets because somehow their anger, their grievances against this government, which has been in power for the last 13 years, they have, sort of snowballed into this outburst, which is there for everybody to see in Kolkata and beyond. There's no question that, it is just a doctors' movement and just a movement for, justice for this girl who got killed and raped. So it is a snowballing movement with extreme, signifying extreme trust deficit between a large section of the population and the government, and that needs to be fixed. One question on the politics of it, so far, barring a Naxal leader who came in today at the Dharna site, and yesterday apparently discredited, allegedly, young BJP leader, a lady, barring that, no political person has been allowed anywhere near the Dharna site. BJP leaders who happen to be there have been heckled and shooed away by the doctors. I am not aware that there is a political involvement in this movement. Mamata Banerjee definitely seems to think so. She blames the BJP and the left for backing and planning the doctors' agitation.
Yeah.
But whether that is accurate is a big question.
Duladi, why don't you just allow this broadcast or this televised, the meeting being televised, put on television? Why is it so difficult?
First of all, I will tell Vishnuji that only Mamata Banerjee does live telecast of administrative meeting, and in NRS medical meeting also in 2019 she has done it.
So why doesn't she do it now, ma'am? Why doesn't she do it now?
CPM regime, BJP regime, Congress regime, we have seen a live telecast. Never ever.
No, but ma'am, why don't you do it now? Forget about CPM, BJP. I'm asking you, why don't you do it now? End it.
Told it clearly in the press, in her press meet, few hours back, that the case is under CBI investigation and case is under Honorable Supreme Court and High Court. So she thought that she will have to take permission from Supreme Court, then she can allow live telecast. Otherwise, she can record it, and with the permission of Supreme Court, she can hand it over the recording towards the doctors.
But there's nothing that the Supreme Court has said which prohibits her from... No, ma'am, Doladi, 1 second.
Please let me finish. 23 to 27 doctors are there in front of media. I am telling the number not from the media, not from the reliable source. I have cross-checked with Health Secretary, not only that, from Health Institution, not only that, Health Department, not only that. I have cross-checked with them personally.
Yes.
You can also talk to them.
Yes.
There are open phone number and telephones, etc., addresses with the Health Department. You can cross-check. Round about 100 to 110 persons have been expired in government hospitals in last 1 month, but out of them, 27 people till date, for today only, have passed away for there is no treatment on behalf of junior doctors. Secondly, and very importantly, Monidipaji probably doesn't know that the number of senior doctors, including the teachers, are 18,000. And out of that, 6500 junior doctors are 35% of them. So it's affecting our medical system. And that is also, Moniripadi should know that people depend much more on the 5 medical college and hospital which are in Kolkata. So people rush there very much, and these 27 cases have been happened incidentally.
Okay, Doladi, you make some important points. Let me get a few responses. I think that's a valid point. Yeah, 1 second. Dr. Shotrupa, 1 second. Monidipa, you want to come in on this? I do believe that Doladi makes an important point when she says that... Doladi, 1 sec, ma'am. I will come back to you. You've said lots of things. I'll come back to you.
Even 9:30, I can't continue.
Okay.
Please spare me for 1 second.
Please go ahead. Since you have to leave, yes.
Today only, Sharbori Mukherjee, this is also for the information of Moniripadi. We have seen Sharbori Mukherjee from BJP, Pamela Goswami, the accused BJP personality over there with the junior doctors. So there are the junior doctor, maybe there are junior doctor only. There is no politics, but there are CPM people. Dr. Narayan Banerjee, like Dr. Narayan Banerjee, Mr. Dulal Banerjee, the accused one. There are BJP people, there are Naxalite people, there are political people with their advices behind this and in front of this also.
Okay.
Pamela Goswami is shown over there. Dr. Narayan Banerjee is easily shown
Okay,
over there.
Duladi, you made lots
Please,
of points. One sec, hold
go
on, ma'am. You
there.
made your point. Let me get some replies.
And I am taking leave.
Monideepa, okay, understood, ma'am.
Vijay,
Understood. And thank you so much for being with us for this entire half an hour.
leave.
Monideepa, you want to quickly come in your views before I go across to Dr. Shotrupa? Yeah.
Quickly, just that 18,000 figure of 18,000 faculty doctors who are attending to the students may be accurate, but we also have other sources telling us there are more, and I have no quarrel with Doladi in pointing out that I should know some figures and I don't, perhaps accurate. But this whole business that I feel is happening is, there's an attempt by the ruling party in the state to turn this into a political battle of Trinamool versus BJP, Trinamool versus CPM. And I'm not sure that it is called for. Certainly, like I mentioned, a Naxalite leader was on the dais today at the Dharna site. And yesterday, Doladi mentioned the lady's name, a lady called Pamela Goswami, who was kind of controversial. She was also seen at the meeting. However, that lady has, presented papers on social media to say that she is completely cleared of all charges against her. Okay. Sure, some of the doctors who are part of this movement are possibly sympathizers of the left or sympathizers of the BJP. How can you quarrel with that? Doctors also have their own politics. But the attempt to turn the movement of the doctors, give it complete political color, when the doctors have made an attempt to keep it color-free, that is perhaps unfortunate.
Okay. Dr. Shotrupa, you heard what Dola Sen had to say before she left, that it is completely political, and she named political leaders of the left, Naxal leaders, BJP leaders, as well as infiltrating the movement and then, influencing it. Is that what the BJP is doing?
No. Firstly, I'm amazed that Doladi would want to make almost non-entities like Pamela and Shwaburi Mukherjee. Not that I'm demeaning anybody. I mean, I don't think they can be classified as BJP leaders. But yes, even if they were there, I know that the junior doctors are sitting almost next to our state office. So yes, there were some people who had given them some packaged waters. Like hundreds of people have brought in bottles. I mean, general public brought in bottles. Like Dr. Mohan was saying, they've given food. They've, somebody has cancelled their puja expenses and come and given some gifts for them. So this does not undermine the junior doctors' agitation. That we have our own agitation and we have our own agenda. We are constantly saying resign, Mamata. But you cannot demean the junior doctors movement. They have some very 5 specific points and they're very clear about the fact that they don't want anybody to be political. I want to make another point here. What Doladi said was absolutely right, that everybody looks towards these 5 government hospitals in Kolkata. Now look at the underlying fact here, that you have so many districts, and there's one woman who has been the health minister for 13 years, and the district hospitals are not even advanced enough.
No, but Dr. Shotrupa, I disagree with you on this, ma'am. If just take a look at Delhi, everybody from every part of the country rushes to the All India Institute of Medical Sciences or Safdarjung. It is a crisis across the country. It's not specific to Bengal.
You can't compare that. You ask any of the other doctors. Basic equipments are not there. Except for their district hospitals being made blue and white, there are no, when the CT scan doesn't function. Most of the time there are no USGs. So it's one thing. I mean, even people from Kolkata go to Vellore for a second opinion. But you don't get basic health facilities in district
all right.
hospitals.
So that's true, ma'am, of
just one last
outside
slide.
the major cities. Unfortunately, in India, ma'am, it is true of hospitals across India, in most states.
Just one last line. Regarding the Supreme Court thing that Mamata Banerjee has suddenly discovered, I spoke to a Supreme Court lawyer who is appearing there. I asked him, what is the issue?
Yep.
So I'm just going to quote directly from his WhatsApp. He said, there is no restraint order. the Supreme Court never directed a meeting between the junior doctors and the Chief Minister. Hence, the question of taking refuge under the shield of pending procedures cannot be resorted by the state. So here it is very clear. The Chief Minister suddenly thought that he should refer to the Supreme Court because she thinks most of the West Bengal people are illiterate. It is most unfortunate that the Chief Minister still thinks, still
Dr.
does not
Shotrupa,
respect
you made
the
your point.
sentiments of the general people.
All right, you made your point. I need to start wrapping this up. Dr. Mohan, let me come back to you. So we are stuck at square one, the entire broadcast issue. What is the way forward?
Vishnu, I think the children actually want to get back to work. We've spoken to them; they are eager to get back to their work. You understand? These are trainee students; they are missing out vital, part of their training. So, I mean, they are doing the best that they can. They are also, running aware clinics and all of these. And even amongst all of this, yesterday night they treated a lady, policewoman who was having a status epilepticus, status asthmaticus attack in front of them, in front of the dharna stall. So they're doing their bit. So it's, I think it is, time for, even the administration to think that while they have been very clear about their, demands, that they want certain people to be held accountable for all the problems that they see emanating from there. So they want certain people to be accountable, and they want them to, relinquish their posts.
All right, so accountability absolutely key in all of this. I am interrupting because I'm out of time. This was meant to be a half-an-hour discussion. It's been more than 40 minutes.